Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the Unwritten Rules. Now, I think I'd just like to reiterate that this is just my view, right? This is my view. The Unwritten Rules, right? There's a lot of speculation about how people play the game. Now, my philosophy, and I've had this discussion with Gary and Mark several times, right? People can play the game however they wish. That's a fact, right? But, it really should be play the game the way it was intended. There's no rules that you can't go web. There's no rules that you can't go in the editor. There's no rules that you can't do this. They are unwritten rules. There is no doubt about they are unwritten rules. It's like when people say, when I saw something recently about, I've managed to get this player and this player, and I'm thinking, how did you get him? And then I realised that someone's gone into the editor and changed their reputation. It was on the ODB ages ago. They posted their little team and they'd got Nicky Forenko, and I'm thinking, well, there's no way you can get Nicky Forenko at the early part of season 1 with wages of 35 grand, and you're not going to get him on a permit in England. And I just think, to be honest with you, right, and this is just my own view, with the ODB, I fired up, it's just a test game on the update, the ODB, the only thing that I have modified on the ODB against what the ODB stands for is something that I took on board what Gary said, and that is I've abolished that contract protection bullshit, because I don't feel it plays any part in the game. So, but the non-EU ruling remains. A work permit remains. Yes, you can get a player on 35 grand a week. That is almost working around the work permit. Now, that's a real-life concept. That happens in real life. Or it did, anyway, back then. There are ways to go around. But when people are playing with the editor, it's an unwritten rule that you don't, isn't it? Tactic testing. Now, Gary Johnson's a big player for tactic testing. As I am, and it's all about trying to find that elusive tactic. I think there's no doubt I and Gary, and probably a lot of people, are looking for that tactic, and then, if you find a tactic and you have a great season, and then you publicise it, you think, look at that, you deserve a pat on the back. Not when you've got your 38-0 fucking season, and it looks like you've got one at the back, or your man marking the goalie. It is frustrating. Mark's forte is looking at stats, that sort of stuff, analysing statistics, attributes, that sort of stuff. And it's a long process, but it does pay off in order to get around this unwritten rules. People think some of us are stupid. Someone posted, Gary sent it to me, Gary and Mark sent it to me, someone posted their top 10 of the ODB, and it is a shower of shit. It is a real shower of shit. They've obviously not given that any thought at all, right? Fuck's sake, yeah, I could do a top 10 and just cherry pick 10 players that are really good in CM. It's personal preference, that's where Mark's analysing and statistics comes in. Mark's very, very good at this, but it's a long process, and some people don't have the patience to wait or to do it. Do you know what I mean? So, the unwritten rules, right, is don't cheat. Don't cheat. You're cheating yourself, right? You're cheating yourself. Don't fucking do this. Adding another manager and selling a player. What is the point? What is the point? It shows, I think the days are long gone, when we would do such a thing. If you're going to do it, don't expect a fucking pat on the back saying how well you've done, because you'll always be outed. You will always be outed. And that's it from me, guys. Till next time, it's take it easy.